This is going to be an upper body foam rolling reset. So we're actually going to start with the neck and the trap. And what we want to do here is lay on your side. And I'm going to start just like a pillow. I want to actually start rolling the roller down into my trapezius muscle, which is kind of the top of my shoulder. So I'm rolling in here and I'm kind of pinning that muscle down this way. And then I can take little movements. So when it comes to foam rolling, it's not just about rolling back and forth mindlessly. We're actually looking for points of tension or knots, maybe some hot and tender spots. We're pausing on them, and then we're trying to mobilize. So this movement right here, I call it flossing. I've pinned that trap down, and then I'm moving, making little no's or little yeses, and then adding that pressure. So you can get your whole neck and trap that way. Just to show you briefly from the back, the foam roller is pushing down into the top shoulder, and I'm moving my head, pinning the tension, and then mobilizing it out. So that's our neck, kind of our traps and our cervical spine. We're going to take it now just into our full spine and back. And so here, you can cross your arms, and that's going to put a little roundness in your spine. And in this case, we are kind of moving and rolling back and forth, but I'm still searching for those points of tension. And you can lean a little bit, so now changing the angle of sort of how your muscle is laying on that foam roller. If you find a point of tension, you can stop on it. You can do some micro movements there, just little micro oscillations back and forth. So lean, get one side of the muscles on one side of your spine, and then the muscles on the other side. And we can even cup our ears and then lay back and bend ourselves around that foam roller. And with this, I'm keeping my chin tucked, so this is different than just doing this. I'm not just laying back over, I'm forcing it into my thoracic spine, just from my ribs to my shoulders. You can floss left to right. And that's just checking in with the back. Stop wherever you need to. Next, we're going to go into the lat. So the lat is this muscle on your side. It attaches into your armpit. So I'm just going to roll on the side. I'm going to start just deep, basically right in line with my armpit. I'm searching for a tender spot. And then when I find it, I'm going to start flossing, mobilizing it. So you can do reaches, you can rotate in and out, you can reach up overhead, change the angle, and your lat goes all the way down, almost to the bottom of your ribs. So you can play around with different angles, different ways of reaching to get that lat. And just make sure you hit both sides. I'll just demonstrate just a couple seconds here. So that's our lat, and that locks the shoulder down a lot. The other one, that's kind of in the back. In the front is the pec. So if I'm lining this up so that it's parallel with my body, I'm going to turn that angle in a little bit. So that front of the roller comes in about 45 degrees, and then I can lay on the edge here, and I can start rolling my pec. So the key right here is basically right where my chest meets my shoulder is the sweet spot, and I'm looking for those tender spots, pinning them, and mobilizing here. And I like doing a little, almost like a little overhead press kind of motion to work that out. Little rotations, little reaches. For men, you can take this stretch, you can deepen that angle, and you can take that stretch all the way down a lot closer to the nipple. For women, just because of the breast tissue, you probably want to stay closer up to where the chest meets the shoulder. You don't need to go down quite as far with this. So roll here. We're gonna hit both sides. I'll just show you a quick one here. And then lastly, this is more of a full shoulder mobilization. So using your roller, this is with the roller. I'll also show you on the ground too, or you can do this on the ground. So this last move is our snow angel. I'm gonna start with the roller just right up against my hips, and I'm just gonna lift my hips up until they're on top. Then I'm gonna lay back. Hips, shoulders, and head are ideally on the foam roller. If you have a shorter one, just try to get as much of your head, shoulders, and hips on it as possible. First things first, I'm gonna get my low back flat to the floor. So I don't want any space between my back and the foam roller. So I'm gonna flatten that out and curve my hips or curl my hips under till I'm flat. And then from there, I'm gonna start with my hands flat on the floor. I'm gonna keep my low back flat, and I'm gonna perform a snow angel motion up and over. And I'm trying to keep my hands as close to the floor as possible for the full motion, and not letting my low back come up off the ground. Here. So stay in contact with the floor or with the foam roller, and I'm making a big snow angel here. You can also make kind of like a little W motion here. So now I'm keeping the back of my fingertips in contact with the floor and moving up and down that way. You don't have to do this with the foam roller. You can do it on the ground here. Big reach up. It's a little easier this way. You get a little more range of motion with the roller. Enjoy it.